Nice. So what changes about the character? Use some of my definitional language. What would change about the character? The personality or the traits or the motivations. Very good. Another broken link. Yay, raw. Sarah. Sure. However, you got to be careful because a multidimensional character sounds more like a round character. What's the difference? Carrie has said a character who changes, but we've also got this multidimensional character. Round and dynamic are not the same thing. How are they different? Jasmine.
The round character doesn't change. It just keeps its own different traits, but dynamic changes within the story.
The round character is always both. Whereas the dynamic character goes from one side to the next, starts on one and ends at another, and there's a significant change. This is exactly what you guys are talking about. You're doing a really good job. You understand these terms very well. Makes me optimistic for the next step, which is using them in your writing. Character which undergoes a significant change in behavioral traits, psychology, or motivation. You have examples from stories we've read or from anything else. You can go outside the stories, think about the connections we made yesterday, of dynamic characters. Josiah. Oh, here's the debate, though. Is he dynamic or is he round?
I have to say dynamic. I feel like everyone thinks that he's going back and forth.
I'm sorry, hold on, so Josiah, I'm not sure the mic's picking up, so I just wanted to mention that we were talking about Professor Snape from Harry Potter. So, go ahead and give your defense again.
After Harry's mother died,
Mm-hmm.
it was clear to him that he was on Dumbledore's side. He never liked him again. And I read these 7 books, so I know that he said I was never on one of his side. I was always with Dumbledore.
Very good. So, Josiah has given an excellent defense, and he did such a wonderful job yesterday of defending his connection with specific details. Said that Professor Snape is a dynamic character because he does undergo a change at a very distinct point in the story. Good. I like that. Sarah.
A little bit like
Explain.
switches attitude.
Very good. And what significantly switches about Tom Beneke?
He's so concerned about his work and his behavior.
Uh-huh.
And then he kind of gets a little hard-hearted because he figures out that his wife and his wife are
Very good. His motivations change, right? First it's work, and then it's his family and his life. So excellent. A change for the better, too. Very good, Sarah. Thank you. So if this is my definition of dynamic, what would my definition of static be? Jake? What's my definition of static character?
Somebody that never changes throughout the story.
Perfect. Static energy is the energy of, if I remember correctly, of position, right? Of sitting still. I'm not a scientist. You have to help me out there. Whereas kinetic is energy of motion. Yeah. Static is just staying still. A character which never undergoes a significant character change. Keeps the same traits. Keeps the same motivations. Is Leonard Mead a static or a dynamic character? Static. He is always the same individual. In fact, he's not a very well-drawn character. He's very simple. Static, flat. Prospero. Categorize. What do you think?
He always tries to cheat death.
That's right. He's always just egotistical and cruel. Good. Yeah, Josiah. Who? Squidward? Oh, and SpongeBob. Yeah, absolutely. Squidward is necessarily a static character. He never changes. And Mr. Krabs, I love Mr. Krabs. Money, money, money. All he wants is money. That's his motivation. And every time he does something, you can see how it's related to, in some way, money or his frustration over not having money. So absolutely, good examples of characters. Yeah, you guys have it. One last application in the stories that we're reading. Jingmei's mother. How would you describe her? Shelby? Think she's static. Okay, that means she doesn't change. Is she round or flat?
I would say she's flat.
Flat. What is her defining characteristic?
Determined.
Okay, determined. Excellent. So Shelby has proposed determined as the characteristic, and that she is static, she never really changes. Connor, do you want to disagree?
I think she can be dynamic because at the end of the story, she kind of forgets everything that happened by offering the girl the piano and saying, "It's yours. You're the only one that can play it, so just take it."
Before I head over to Sarah with an addition to this, I want you to note what Connor has just done. He's disagreeing and supporting with evidence, and that evidence is the final moment of the book, or the story, with the giving of the piano. He's using that as a detail to support the character change. Sarah, what do you want to say about it?
So she's kind of greedy at the beginning.
Okay.
And she seems static until the end. She seems like she's always had like greedy trophy mother.
Mm-hmm.
But
Trophy mother, I like that.
but at the end, we kind of see how she dynamic because she changes routes and kind of gets rid of her greed and
Good.
tells her daughter a little bit more than herself.
Excellent. Josiah,
I actually want to say she's a round person.
why? Why round?
She's had a feeling of pride in her daughter.
Uh-huh.
She had the feeling of grief that she lost two of her twins. So she's had all these emotions throughout the whole thing, and I think that's why she's been taking it out on her daughter piano, trying to make her successful so she wouldn't go through all the things that she's going through.
I will leave you with this thought, and I think that the discussion with all four of you has brought you perfectly to this conclusion. That with literature, which is art, meaning is not always clear. And if meaning is not always clear, that means it's up to you to clarify. And some of you will clarify in different ways. So somebody might write a very clear paragraph about how she's a dynamic character and point to her moment of change and support with details. And some of you might write about how she's a round character because she's always had those characteristics and provide details to support. And both of you might earn the same excellent score. Because at the end of the day, we don't care so much about right answers or interpretation of art. What we care about is clear thinking expressed in writing. And that only can happen when you understand these definitions. You understand these definitions and the writing will be good. Questions? Cool. Then tomorrow you must read 2 stories, both being shorter length, so about the same amount of reading as 2 kinds, just 2 different stories. Be ready for the reading check. Character connections, another one of those connection sessions on Friday, and eventually extended writing number 2, which focuses on character. And I should have extended writing number 1 for you back really quickly so you can see how you did before you go into number 2. That's it.